Core belts. I have reviewed some of these before. Core came out with some new belts and they sent me some to review for all of you to kind of get out the word and show you. We're going to take a look at a couple of those here. If you've not been following along in the belt world for a long time, I'll make the brief summary that I've said before. These ratchet style belts, which is what these are, they adjust in 1/4 inch increments. It's all I wear now. I used to wear, again, my little brief public service announcement. This is my leather belt that I wore to my concealed carry class that I thought was sturdy. It very much is not sturdy. It's very floppy. And also this adjusts in 1 inch increments, as you can see. It was a fine belt for a long time, but since these ratchet style belts have come along, it's all I wear. As I've said in previous videos, all my regular old school belts are sitting in a box in my closet, and I've not worn any of them in the past probably 5-6 years. So Core is one of the manufacturers that makes these ratchet style belts. I've reviewed them before, like I said, and just to kind of briefly summarize Core, they have several different styles of belts. They have regular leather belts, which are just regular dress or casual style belts. They have leather gun belts like this one here, right? That's a leather one. These come up to 1.5 inches, and then they will hold about 4 pounds, the kind of medium to lightweight. They have nylon belts like this one here down below it. They're made to hold up to 8 pounds. And then they have their garrison belts, which are larger. They go up to 1.75 inches, and they're made to hold up to 10 pounds. Hopefully you're not carrying more than 10 pounds on your waist. I feel sorry for you if you are, but they will hold kind of all you need. These leather belts are made of 2 full pieces of top grain leather, and then they have a waterproof coating. Something like this one, this is a Western belt they just came out with, which I really liked. It's kind of a cool looking belt with this cool buckle here. And they are waterproofed, and I think this one over time will get a little bit of kind of wear and character to it, just the way this leather is designed. And then if you get these nylon ones, well, they show no wear. The belts all have their power core center, which looks like this. And it is a core right in the middle of the belt there, and that gives the belt additional rigidity and structure, and they have increased kind of torsional strength so that when you're putting a gun with a holster on it, it's going to hold it no problem and it's not going to flop around. The regular belts will accommodate 24 up to 44 inches. The XLs will accommodate up to 54 inches, and then they have an extended XL, which goes all the way up to a 72-inch waist, so that should take care of pretty much everyone. The buckles are typically a steel or an alloy, and then they are either coated with a nickel or a gunmetal finish, or sometimes powder coated like this one. Briefly, Core does make a few other things like wallets and sunglasses. They also make these belt hangers. I have several of these in my closet that I hang several of my belts from. They work really well. Now, if you're not familiar with how these belts work, I'll briefly cover that. The belts come with an unfinished length up to that 44, 54, or 72 inches. The inches are marked on the back of the belt, and what they recommend is that you take your regular waist size and add 4 inches. It does come with a sizing guide here that you can read all about this. They recommend adding 4 inches to your waist size. So if I wear a 32 waist, they recommend cutting the belt at that 36-inch mark. For me, I've been wearing these a bunch. I usually just add 2 inches, but start long because obviously you can't add it back after the fact. So you cut down to whatever size you decide. For me, I cut it at 34 inches. And then you affix the buckle. You slide the buckle in and you fold that piece over, and the little spikes in there will latch into the buckle. For the casual belts, there's no additional kind of securing points, but for the gun belts, they do have these screws that you want to make sure you loosen before you push that belt in there so it can fit all the way in, and then you tighten those down, and that just gives the belt that much more security when you're holding some weight on it. Once the belt is on, there is just a simple lever there that you push, and it releases the belt, and then you can adjust it in 1/4 inch increments. So maybe you've just eaten, or maybe you're sitting down, you want it slightly looser, you can adjust it infinitely during the day. Some other accessories that they have that come with these belts is that they have a small keeper that you can fit onto the belt. You slide the belt through and then into that keeper. The only thing I don't like about that is that it does slide around a little bit, so you need to be careful when you take the belt off that you don't lose that keeper because it will kind of slide off. They also have this larger protector that you can slide over part of the belt if you want to protect the belt from a holster or something like that. Even though these belts are very sturdy, you can slide this on. It's going to give you a lot larger area of protection from something that you're putting onto the belt. Now, comfort for these belts, these nylon ones, like this black camo one that I have, I will say it is fairly stiff. You can see here, I'm just holding it on one side and it is not bending down at all. They have a lot of torsional rigidity to them, and wearing them, they're comfortable, but they are fairly on the stiffer side compared to some belts and compared to some of the other ratchet style belts that I've seen and that I have. So for better or for worse, they are a little bit stiffer, especially these nylon ones. The leather one, again, still pretty stiff, a little bit more comfortable, just a little bit more pliable. And because they have that power core in the middle, it's not going to stretch. It's not going to, like the traditional belts, the leather belts, where over time they wear and they stretch out. And although this one has metal eyelets, traditional leather ones don't, and the eyelets will stretch out and the belt will stretch out. These are not going to have that problem because of the way the belts are constructed. So there you go, some new belts from Core. Check them out. I love these cool Western style buckles. The new black camo and the other colors of camos. Check out those. Check out all their other accessories, their sunglasses and things. Some links down below. You can check that out. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.